So self-care day. A few months ago, I couldn't tell whether these were weeds or flowers. So it was a little hard for me to figure out how to weed. But now, if you look over here, it's pretty clear. There's a flower and here's a weed. So why am I saying this? Because sometimes, well, let me start with this. A very dear friend who's actually a carpenter, not a gardener, gave some advice about not chopping out whatever you saw growing because you don't know if it's a weed or if it's a flower or a grain. So his advice was, well, let them both grow together, and then in time you'll know whether it turns into a flower or whether it turns into a weed, and then you can sort through it. Sometimes we can recognize the weeds right away and we can pluck them and it's easier, and then other times we're not really sure. Sort of like for us as first responders, we maybe have a critical incident and we're not really sure how to process it. We don't know where to start, and a lot of that stuff just sort of goes away in the beginning and sort of fades after a few days. Some of the sights, the smells, the images, the feelings, the sounds. But then there's some things that'll stay a little longer. So I say this to say, be gentle on yourself as you go through those things, because you don't know what's a weed and what's a flower. A lot of things will heal, and they'll heal in a way that you can then help someone else through that. That to me would be a flower. And then other times they're going to be a weed, and you need to reach out and grab someone who knows how to get down to the root of it, like maybe a clinician or a chaplain or a dear friend or a peer, and get to those roots and you pull it out together. But be gentle on yourselves, because sometimes you don't know what it's going to grow into. But when you see it's a weed, it's time to do some weeding. And if you look here, there's plenty of weeds. Happy weeding.